So thank you for buying tickets and for supporting the artists and the spaces where arts can happen. And if you're joining us for the live stream, please consider making a donation at the link in the comments, and certainly follow us for more events, including the Til We Meet Again concert series, which will happen the first Thursday night of every month. I had said we're volunteer driven, and right now I'm going to present one of the volunteers for whom I am incredibly grateful and thankful, because John Albright is the creator and really the driving force behind this wonderful concert series. So without further ado, here's John to make a couple of comments. Thank you all for being here. Enjoy the show.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I've never been in a show situation where I know just about everybody, which is very fun, very fun. Dana took all my thunder. Well, most of it. We wanted to try to get an early start as possible to get you out of here as soon as we can. The band is going to play one long set. If you feel like you need to get up and get out of this place for a little while, feel free, but please use common concert protocol and leave and re-enter during the in-between songs. That's what I meant to say. A quick little bit about Til We Meet Again. I formed it, that's wrong. We formed it early in 2021. I called Hannah Gathman and I said, how about this idea? Is it any good? And she goes, that's great, let's do it. So she did it, all the work. And then I knew Scott Woodruff. I knew he liked to play with sound and electronics and gizmos and things like that. And I asked if he could do a Zoom chat, or a Zoom call for a concert. He says, sure, of course. So we are now not running just one live stream, but 2 live streams. We're streaming to Facebook and also to YouTube. So I'm assuming, Scott, people can hear me now online. Thank you. So you folks on Facebook Zoom, or on Facebook feed, if you'd like to go to the YouTube feed, our good volunteer and helper, Kara Kakini, is posting a link in the chat for the YouTube feed, which is on the ACAF, what do you call it, channel? YouTube channel. And you also can find the link to donate directly in the Facebook chat. Let's see. Oh, if you get lost, you can find everything on the Til We Meet Again website. Now, you folks at home, find a pencil. It's not that hard. It's tilwemeetagainmusic.org. Til is spelled T-I-L. And if you go there, you can find the donate button and all kinds of other information about the band and the concert series and what's coming up and who we've had in the past. So you can do that and get a little bit more information. I think I'm beginning to ramble, which is highly typical for me. So I'm going to take some time here and introduce Josephine County. A couple of years back, in 2019, when we hosted when ACAF hosted the first annual Freeport Folk Festival, in September, in about May or June, I think it was, maybe May, I went down to the Little Sea Folk Festival that I heard about by accident. And it was a really wonderful little festival at Woodford Corners Church. And I said, who's in charge? Because I wanted to get some information and insight about putting up a festival. And someone said, that person over there. So I tracked that person down and spent more time talking with her than I'm sure she appreciated. But she was very helpful. And so 2 years later, fast forward, we wanted to do this concert series and wanted to do it in collaboration with ACAF. They have this wonderful venue. We have the technology and the skill to do this at no cost. So it's a real nice, wonderful mix. So I've been hearing about Josephine County, mostly actually hearing about Erica Brown, because who hasn't? And I said, well, how many bands does she play in? She plays in a bunch, and one of them is Josephine County. So I sent an email to Josephine County, and I started a conversation with Colleen, which produced all of this. But about the third email, she said, didn't I talk with you at the Little Sea Folk Festival about 2 years ago? I said, yes, you did. So again, small world in Maine. And to me, the real message is there are a whole bunch of musicians in this town, in this state, that you folks don't know about and I don't know about. And they're very, very good. So a big part of what I want to do with Till We Meet Again is try to find those people and get them in front of audiences. So thank you very much for coming. We're really going to be given a treat tonight. These folks are all individually top shelf musicians, and they just do a really wonderful job of presenting to you a nice sophisticated blend of traditional and cultural music that I think you're going to really, really love. So I can't say enough about the most amazing band in the world, Josephine County.
Hello.
Good. It's fine. It's been a while since I've seen a stool.
It's been a while since we've been on a stage.
Don't worry about me out there in the internet world.
Thanks for coming out, everybody. Being there online. Hope we can live up to John's introduction.
I know. I almost blocked the festival out of my memory. Well, we are called Josephine County, that's true. And none of us have ever lived in said county, which is in rural Oregon. So there you go.
Any questions?
We good? We good?
Any questions so far?
Right?
All right. I just have to get my...
Well, we're going to start off with a song, and that song is called Bra Sailing on the Sea. And bra is Scots English word for good. So it's B-R-A-W, not just B-R-A.
So it's edutainment. You get
I
a
can't get...
spelling lesson as well.
Don't worry about it.
Good?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, 1, 2, 3. Oh, there came a letter late last eve. The ship must sail at the morn. Alas, cried the bonny lad, that ever I was born. And it's broad sailing on the sea, when wind and weather's fair. It's better be in my love's arms, and know that I was there when he came to her father's house at 12 o'clock at noon. This lass, she being true-hearted, she would not let him in. And it's broad sailing on the sea, when wind and weather's fair. It's better be in my love's arms, and know that I was there. He's taken a ring from his pocket, it cost him guineas 3, saying, take you this, my bonny lad, and don't think well of me. And it's broad sailing on the sea, when wind and weather's fair. It's better be in my love's arms, and know that I was there. She's taken a ring from her pocket, it cost him shillings 9, saying, take you this, my bonny man, for I have changed my mind. And it's braw sailing on the sea, when wind and weather's fair. It's better be in my love's arms, know that I was there. It's braw drinking Glasgow beer, it's better drinking wine. It's better still in my love's arms, where I've spent many a time. And it's braw sailing on the sea, when wind and weather's fair. It's better be in my love's arms, and know that I was there. And it's better be in my love's arms, and know that I was there. Thank you.
That's Mr. Hans Araki, everybody.
Thanks very much. Wow, this is a beautiful room to sing in. You can hear, I don't know, the reverb and everything sounds so good. What a cool church. This is beautiful. Thanks for having us. We're going to do a song that I wrote. Eric and I live in Portland, and on the outskirts of Portland, I guess, off of a dead-end street, and behind our house there's a lot of land, some trails, and just a lot of empty land that goes down to, well, let's see, where does it go? I don't actually know. I know where it starts, but I don't really know where it ends up. I guess it's the 95 corridor and all that stuff, but it's just lots of different land behind our house. But back there are some trails maintained by the Portland Trail System, and we end up walking around there quite a bit. And I learned about the old C&O Canal back there, and after doing some research, I thought it was an interesting story, and wrote a song about it. And specifically, most of the information I could find out was about the Irish immigrants and lots of immigrants from many nations, actually, countries who helped build the canal in the mid-1800s. And it was not glamorous work, as you may imagine. Mostly by hand, and all by hand, and some animals, some animal help with mules and horses and stuff. But pretty interesting story, I thought. So I thought I would make a good song, and these guys were kind enough to learn it and play it with me. And it stands for the Cumberland and Oxford Canal, and it's called C&O. I should have been tuning that whole time, but instead I was talking.
Look, Matt, I fell off a stool, so you're fine.
We're off to a good
Don't
start.
worry. Everybody here, we've all been living through the same pandemic.
My My name is Cassidy from Blaney Town, and my story I'd like to tell about some hard work done long ago while building the C&O. Moving lumber, dry goods and logs, hogshead barrels, treacle and rum. Can't go by wagon, the road's too slow. So we're building the C&O. We built them all, from horse beef to Dundee, from Gamble up to Hardin's, the cotton factory, my boys and I. We worked tighter than the tree nails, we worked harder than the day is long. Agents would never know we were working on the C&O. Built the locks, boys, we blasted rock, and picks and shovels, barrows and carts. Worked in the rain and sleet and snow while we're building the C&O. 34 by 18 wide, digging lock pits and setting sides. We're moving earth and ballast stone, and while we're building the C&O. And those canal boats, champion flipjack, pulled by mules and horses, on the old towpath from the coast all the way up to Songo. Tom and Nate pulled with all they had, 30-ton cargo. They were working on the C&O. Tom Mahoney, he met his end while working like number 10. The hitch weight fell, the block came down. We had to dig him half out of the ground. And I'll tell you, boys, and it's a tough way to go for $2 a day's to pay. Shanty towns are your home, the work is hard and the pay is low, so fairly well, boys. And here there's work on the new railroad. I ain't working on the C&O no more. I ain't working on the C&O.
Mr. Matt
Thanks very
Shipman,
much.
everybody.
Thank you.
So when I first heard of the Til We Meet Again concert series, it was a good friend of all of ours, Mr. Junior Stevens, was playing it with some other friends of ours, Will and Caitlin. And the idea, the concept behind it was always, it's interesting. It's an interesting concept to get some people who know each other and play music to get together on the stage to play music. And basically, that's how this band started. So we are the embodiment of Till We Meet Again. Hans and I bought a house about 2 blocks from Matt and Erica on the outskirts of Portland. And we were mutual fans of music. Like, I love going to see the Bluegrass Connection and Darlin' Corey, and they would come and see all of our Irish trad shows. And so, because musicians are always working, we don't really get to hang out with each other during like normal hanging out times because we're on stage in other parts of the States or the country. So we said, okay, well, the only way that we're going to be able to get to hang out and play music together is if we make a band. So we made a band. And so, we actually don't get to see each other all that much because Hans and I have moved 45 minutes away to a tiny town. And so basically, every show that we play is 2 groups of people who play music and don't get to hang out together, playing music and hanging out together. So thanks for giving us an opportunity to do that on this beautiful stage as well. I figured that was a nicer story than telling them that we have a really tragic song coming up. So
I know, from one happy song to another.
we're gonna go. So I just wanted to lighten the mood a little before we just take you up to Nova Scotia and just devastate you, if that's all right. It's a beautiful song from Stan Rogers, though, called Three Fishers. And we added it just a little bit ago. Shake the cobwebs out of it and see how it flies tonight. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Three fishers went sailing out into the west, out into the west. As the sun went down, each thought of the woman that loved him the best, and children stood watching them out from the town. Men must work, women must weep, for there's little to earn and many to keep. And the harbor bar be moaning, and the harbor bar be moaning. Three wives sat up in the lighthouse tower, trimming the lamp as the sun went down. And they looked at the sky and they looked at the shower, and the night rack came rolling in ragged and brown. Men must work, women must weep, for the storms be sudden and the waters be deep. And the harbor bar be moaning, and the harbor bar be moaning. Three corpses lay out in the shining sand, in the morning gleam as the tide rolls out. And the women were weeping and wringing their hands for those who'd never come back to the land. Men must work, women must weep, for the sooner it's over, the sooner to sleep. And the harbor bar be moaning, and the harbor bar be moaning. Men must work, women must weep, for the sooner it's over, the sooner to sleep. And goodbye to the bar and its moaning. Goodbye to the bar and its moaning. Thank you so much.
There's Colleen Rainey singing for you there. Well, thank you so much for coming out and joining us this evening. We are so psyched that the weather cooperated, and it's just going to remain rain until we can all safely get home tonight. Me and Mother Nature have a little game that we like to play in the wintertime. She likes to try to cancel as many gigs as I have all winter. And she will succeed tomorrow night, but she shall not tonight. That's right.
This is Erica's favorite month of the whole year. Can't you tell?
I always say it's the shortest and yet the longest. Yeah, I've lived in Maine my whole life, so I should be used to winter and I should like it or something by now, but I just don't.
It's more like Stockholm Syndrome, as I understand it. You just start to identify with your captor.
Yeah, pretty much. So, anyways, but the one thing I do like about winter is I get to sing this song during the winter months, and it just sets a really pretty scene of the winter, and snowflakes falling. It sounds so romantic, but we all know better than that because we have to go out and shovel it after it all happens. So, but anyways, this is a Gordon Lightfoot song, and it's called "Song for a Winter's Night."
She's doing all right, you guys. She'll be all right. She'll be fine.
Just to hold the hands I love. Smoke is rising in the shadows overhead. My glass is almost empty. I read again between the lines upon the page. Words of love that you sent me. If I could know within my heart that you were lonely too, I would be happy just to hold the hands I love. On this winter night. Fire is dying down, my lamp is growing dim. The shades of night are lifting. The morning light steals across my window pane, where flakes of snow are drifting. If I could go within you near to breathe a sigh or two, I would be happy just to hold the hands I love on this winter night with you, and to be once again with you.
The one and only Erica Brown.
Thank you very much.
Erica.
Appreciate that.
Well, I come from a theater background, and a very famous playwright, Chekhov, said that if you put a gun on stage, you have to fire it at some point. So I figure it's time to play this guitar that's just been sitting here taunting you.
I thought you were talking about the banjo.
Oh, I should have. That would have been, see, if I'd have been on my game, Matt, that would have been a better joke. Okay, let's do this again. So I come from a theater.
Take two. Take two. We can edit it
Can
later.
we cut and
Yeah.
edit that in post? That'd be great. No, we're gonna do another very uplifting song.
We're full of them.
Janie Mac. Somebody, if there's a psychologist in here, please do not
Pay no attention.
waste your time. No, we're gonna do a song it's actually a pretty old song called "Adieu, False Heart," and what do we determine? It came up from Arkansas.
Yeah.
That's right. And what's it?
Works for me.
Well, yeah, Arkansas. Hans agrees that it was Arkansas. No, in the 19th century, and then it was one of them. It was one of those songs that was previously done in a really old time, sort of majory, cheerful sounding situation.
Like old string band
Right,
song.
which
yeah.
is super cool, but
Clearly weren't listening to the lyrics.
no, but if you listen closer, it's pretty devastating, but also kind of feminist. So we figured devastating and feminist, that's right up our alley. Let's knock it into a minor key and then just really depress everybody too. So we're going to do our version of Adieu, False Heart, and then we'll all talk about our feelings after that. Okay? Excellent. Adieu, false heart. Now we must part. May the joys of the world go with you. I'll love you long and faithful, but never anymore can ever leave you. I've seen the time I've married you and been your constant lover, but now I gladly give you up for one whose heart is true. You think you are too good for me. You think I am forsaken. But if you think I care for you, you are very much mistaken. My mind is like the constant sun, from the east to the west it ranges, but yours is like up to the moon. It's every month it changes. When I lay down to take my rest, no scornful one to wake me. I'll go straight way into my bed
just as fast as time can take me. Adieu, false heart. Now we must part. May the joys of the world go with you. I'll love you long in a faithful heart, but never anymore. Can I believe you?
Well, from feminism to misogyny. We like to cover all our bases. So we're going to do a song about a true cad. I mean, he's irredeemable, this guy. And what's great is that he faces no consequence whatsoever. He's beneath contempt. It's a good thing there's a song written about him. You know?
Yeah, well, at least it sounds like a happy song. This one sounds
It's true.
happy, so just try, try
It's
to
true.
enjoy it any way you can.
It's a song called Miss Bailey. About, well, I mean, the unfortunate Miss Bailey is barely a bit player in this thing. It's really about Captain Smith, who's just a jerk. He's terrible. But we try to make up for it by putting a tune at the end called The Coachman's Whip. Captain Bold in Halifax, who dwelt in country quarters, seduced a maid who hanged herself one morning in her garters. But his conscience smited him, he lost his stomach daily. He took to drink and ran a fee and thought upon Miss Bailey. Took to drink and ran a fee and thought upon Miss Bailey. One night betimes he went to bed, for he'd caught a fever. Says he, I am a handsome man, but I'm a gay deceiver. His candle bright at 12 o'clock began to burn quite gaily. The ghost stepped up to his bedside and said, behold, Miss Bailey. He stepped up to his bedside and said, behold, Miss Bailey. Good night to you, miss, then he cried, your face that's white and really. Dear Captain Smith, the ghost replied, you used me ungenteelly. The chorus quest was hard to me, said I back to freely. Bars and bricks won't bury me, though I'm a dead Miss Bailey. Bars and bricks won't bury me, though I'm a dead Miss Bailey. Dear ghost of sea, since you and I accounts for once must all close, you'll find a £1 note there in my regimental small clothes. Drive the sexton for your parade, postman Ganesh Davy. Bless you, wicked Captain Smith, remember poor Miss Bailey. Bless you, wicked Captain Smith, remember poor Miss Bailey. He got out of bed, his feet went down hard. His appetite being keen again, the town quickly started. He ordered beef and mutton too, as once he used to daily. He eyed the pretty maidens and forgot about this baby.
He eyed the pretty maidens and forgot about this baby.
So on the maidens and beware of captains and the quarters. Don't let them near your petticoats, don't let them near your garters. If you let them dig you down, round and round, says Davy. Stay away from hempen roving men for this baby.
Stay away from hempen roving men for this baby.
All right. Well, we're going to sing a song that comes from my family, actually. It's a family story song, I guess. Has to do with my grandmother and how she ended up growing up in Barbados, but she was from Quebec. So, and kind of an interesting story, I thought. And after talking to my mom and her cousins and stuff like that, I started to think, geez, this is a really interesting story. And so I thought it deserved a song. Oh, geez, I have to do that. Sorry.
This is seriously one of my favorite songs, and I have so many questions, and every time he sings it, I end up with like 14 more questions, which I'm sure is really irritating. And he's pretty glad we're not on tour right now, because when we're on tour, we have to share a car, and so I have to ask all my questions. But this way, I just get to go sit with my thoughts and ask Hans all the questions.
Well, we got to the bottom of a lot of it, I think.
Yeah,
Finally.
we did. It took some time.
But the story is that when my great grandparents decided to take a holiday to Barbados on a steamship in the mid to late, I don't remember the exact date, 1800s, and leave one of their daughters behind, but bring the other. They had two twin daughters, and they brought one of them with them and left the other behind. I'm still not quite sure why, although someone the other day had a good point, and I can't remember what it was. We were at Stone Mountain.
You just always keep a backup.
Oh, geez.
Just, in case you...
I can't remember what she said. She said something that made sense, but I can't remember. Anyways, but they only took this one girl with them, and this would have been my great grandmother. And when they got to Barbados, they took a little horse and carriage ride around the island, just a little tour, to see the sights. And the carriage had an accident and killed my great-great-grandparents, and my great-grandmother was, great-grandmother was only 3 months old at the time. And so she was left down in Barbados with, at 3 months old, with no way to really get in touch with anybody at that time. It was very difficult to get word anywhere. So she was later adopted, and grew up in Barbados, and it's a longer story after that, but that's how my grandmother ended up there. And yes, Colleen.
I thought of 3 more questions
Yes.
as we are sitting.
And they did get reunited, to answer your question. Right?
Honestly, that was the hardest part.
Later, much later in life, the twins were reunited. But yeah, my great-grandmother met my great-grandfather, and they lived in Trinidad and all over the West Indies. But my bloodline is sort of from the Quebec area, but by way of Barbados. So I'm a little confused, but I do know a little bit about rum and
And a lot about
and
Rihanna.
French. Yeah.
She's now a national treasure in Barbados, so she should be.
We're just gonna hang out and chat up here, and
He told us he wanted some witty
every once in a
banter.
while
Is
we'll
this witty
clue you
enough?
in on what's going on.
So we got the banter part where we're lacking the wit.
So this is called New Land Alone. Well, my name is Marie Cordeau. From Quebec town we come on a big steamship across the seas, where we're bound for the West Indies. I'm only 3 months in this world, such a long way for a little girl, and just a faded memory of our home back in Albany. Well, big sister, she stayed behind. I'll never find a better friend. My parents promised that in time we can all be together again. And I'm just here in a new land alone, got no name to call my own. Don't know when I'll be going home. Now I'm just here in a new land alone. On a carriage ride in St. Michael town, an accident when the horse did scare and took the lives of my mare and pair, with no family to take me in. Now the sisters, they're good to me, while they look for a family, taking a lost little girl, so alone now in this world. I'm just here in a land alone, got no name to call my own. Don't know when I'll be going home. I'm just here in a land alone. Wife came to visit today, and I think I heard them say they may have a home for me, what I would give to have a family. Now they call me by the name of Stroud, a loving home I am blessed with now. Wish I could tell my sister somehow. Our parents promise they cannot avow. Now I'm just here in new land alone. Got no name to call my own. Don't know when I'll be going home. Now I'm just here in new land alone. I'm just here in new land alone. Now I'm just here in new land alone.
Matt Shipman, everybody. If you have questions, you can write them on a piece of paper and pass them up. We'll get Matt to answer them.
Well, I often get this question. This is an Irish bouzouki, by the way, and get that if you're wondering. And it requires a lot of attention and tuning, but we'll get there. Loosely translated, it means out of tune in Greek and Italian and Irish, actually. It is the mandolin family instrument, after all. But we're gonna play some jigs for you. These are new to us.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
right, sorry.
somewhat new.
Don't look at me, I don't play anything.
Don't look at me.
We are
Somewhat
going to
new
play
for
some
us.
jigs. We're going to play 3 tunes. The first tune is called The Exiles. And it's a slip jig, actually, which means it's in 9/8 time. And the tune after that, Willie O'Shea's, but it did.
We got it from Lisa Ornstein.
Yeah, but did she
An
write?
amazing.
Or did
No,
she
didn't
just
write
found it.
She
Okay.
wrote it.
Yeah, still. Lisa's great.
Yeah,
So.
she's awesome. French
Yeah.
Canadian.
And then the last tune goes by a bunch of different names. I do like this one though, the Irishman's Health to the Ladies.
Yep.
I think that's a good name. Anyway,
Now I have more questions.
as do we all. So here we go. Oh, 1, 2, 3.
problem when we add new sets of tunes. We can't just leave well enough alone. So the difference between a tune and a song in trad music is that songs have words and tunes only have expletives. And only when we mess them up.
Right.
But they're normally pretty straight ahead. But that's not good enough. And so
No, we have to find two.
throw in, a couple extra measures here and a couple extra measures there and then we think it's a great idea to not rehearse these. And so we just do them. Surprise, we'll do them tonight. So we all look just like really tense while we're playing the tunes. Like these are very serious tunes until we hit the last super stressful point, and then we're like, oh yeah, this is pretty good. We're doing all right. This is jig, you guys. Good job with the jigs. Well done with the jigs, you guys.
I went
Thanks,
into
Colleen.
that zone that I go into when I'm really concentrating. Colleen always says I have this look on my face. And I just go to this place and I'm really concentrating, and I did that for the whole first tune. I was not here at all. I was wherever I go.
She just gets she turns into stone and she starts reading the back of her own skull. It's this amazing. There's a video of Erica when she was 7, playing with, what is that amazing fiddler?
Kenny Baker.
Kenny Baker.
I was
Not to be confused with R2D2.
No.
Kenny Baker, the fiddler.
I never got confused by that.
No.
I'm glad. In case somebody
Thanks for
was-
clearing that up.
Cool. I was 10.
Oh, 10, you just
We'll try
looked
to
7.
Yeah.
Just very small 10. And she got up there and played the Irish Washerwoman, wasn't it, or something? Mason's Apron, same tune, basically. She played the Mason's Apron, and if you can Google little girl Kenny Baker Maine, and you will see Erica playing this, and she will have the exact same look on her face.
I mean, that's not an easy tune. There's 7,000 parts to that tune.
No, right? And she did a variation. She did a variation on one of them, and you see little teeny tiny Eric Brown, just the tiniest little smirk on the side of her face, gotcha.
It's the best.
What did Kenny Baker say at the end of that? I'd like to break your little fingers.
That's
Or
right.
something like
He did
that.
say, "You break your little fingers." Yep, he shook my hand, and as he was shaking my hand, he says, I'd like to break every little finger she's got. And at 10 years old, I wasn't quite sure how to take that, but I really looked up to him, so I thought, that must be a compliment, right? Very good.
They grow back, right?
At that age, yeah.
Those are my kid fingers. This one's take them back.
As new ones come in, you pull them off. Right. No, right.
Oh, man, you guys.
We're going to do a song where, spoiler alert, nothing horrible happens. Not one
Finally.
thing. I know, it's been a really difficult set list so far. Whew. No, this is a great song that we learned. We were introduced to it by our good friend Cullen McCarthy, who lives out in Seattle, Dublin born, Seattle living. And he sent it to us, and he likes to slip me music every once in a while, and he knows that I'm a stubborn human, and so if he says you should do this song, I will say absolutely not. Thank you. So he just slipped this one, and he's like, I don't know, I just thought this was a really great song. I thought maybe you'd like to hear it, no big deal. So it worked, and now Josephine County does it, and it's a beautiful song. It's called K to the Gowrie, and yeah, it's lovely. There's no story to it. It's just nice things. So here we go. Nice things. It fell on a summer's afternoon, way before the sun went down. A lassie with her brand new gown came o'er the hills to Gowrie. I praised her beauty long and loud, around her waist my arms are flung. I said, my dearie, will you come to see the hills of Gowrie, like a rosebud wet from morning showers, blooming fresh within the sunny bower. Katie was a fairy's flower,
that ever bloomed in Gallery. Take you to yon wooded dale where it blooms the purple heather bed. Then we'll tarry for a while before we go to Calvary. Soft kisses on her lips I lay, the blush upon her cheek then spread. She whispered modestly and said, I'll go with you to Calvary, like a rosebud wet from morning showers, blooming fresh within the sunny bower. Katie was the fairest flower that ever bloomed in Gallery. Gently held her hand in mine, we walked through fields and mountain thyme. Offered her love so fine, my bonny lass, oh Calvary, like a rosebud wet from morning showers, blooming fresh within the sunny bower. Katie was the fairest flower that ever bloomed in Gallery, like a rosebud wet from morning showers, blooming fresh within the sunny bower. Katie was the fairest flower that ever bloomed in Gallery.
That's Colleen Rainey singing for you there.
Oh, it's my turn. I thought I was done for the night. I've got one more on the list, okay. So, as Colleen was saying at the beginning of the show here, we were huge fans of each other's music, and Matt and I were more from a like bluegrass, folk, old-time, French-Canadian background. That's what we play most of the time. And Hans and Colleen are amazing Irish musicians, and so when we decided to try to play a gig together just for fun, 5 years later, here we are still doing it, we were trying to put up, make a set list and try to pick a little bit of their strong stuff, some of our strong stuff, and then try to stretch ourselves out and kind of make each other learn a style that maybe they haven't done before. Like this next situation that's about ready to happen, I'm going to sing an Irish song.
Yeah.
And I was just, as I'm saying this, I just realized I didn't put our CDs out. But this is a song that's on our CD, and there have been a couple other songs that, and maybe even tunes that we've done tonight that are on that CD. So after we're finished, I will bring some out if anyone's interested. And if you are online and wondering, you can go to our website. It's JosephineCountyBand.com. The band part is really super important. Just take our word for it.
Just think rural Oregon.
And so I wasn't sure which Irish song to sing, and so Matt and I were taking a long road trip to Washington, D.C., and they loaded me up with a bunch of CDs and said,
Don't come home.
don't come home until you pick one. And of all the songs that I found, I gravitated towards this one. For reasons I'm not sure, I just really loved it. Yeah. And I'm going to try to keep making up stories now while Matt continues to tune.
No, I will always keep tuning, so just don't. Just start singing.
All right. We're ready. Okay. It's called Johnny, Lovely Johnny.
Walls of dairy look so beautiful and gray.
That's Erica singing for you there.
One misstep. The floor just moves under our feet.
All right.
Painting all the time.
Hope you guys are having a fun night. You having a nice night tonight? Thanks for coming out on a Thursday. A rainy, man. The more I talk about tonight, the more difficult I realize it is to come out. It's rainy, it's Thursday, it's February. You guys are amazing. Nice job for getting out of the house. It's hard right now. It's very hard. Pandemics, masks. There are so many obstacles. And thank you for coming. Thanks for being here online, and thanks for having us. I'm just trying to chat you up because I'm about to sing another, not as terrible song. Nobody dies in this song. It's just kind of like an adultery type of situation.
Spoiler alert.
But it's a very young woman. This is a very old song. It's a traditional song that has probably about 120 verses, if you look it up. But I kind of picked 10 of them or whatever. I know you got things to do, and you got to go home and feed the cat and stuff. So you don't want to be here all night. And so the dog.
Oh, dear. There's a storm coming, so we don't want to get snow in here.
Yeah, get your canned goods. But this is one of those songs. It's called Blackjack Davy. And it's a traditional song. We're going to follow it with a tune called Splendid Isolation? Yeah. A couple of moody G minor things to throw at you here on a moody Thursday evening. Blackjack Davy come riding on by, whistling loud and merry. Made the woods around him sing, and he charmed the heart of a lady. He charmed the heart of a lady. Come go with me, my pretty little miss. How old are you, my honey? She answered him with a loving smile. I'll be 16 come Sunday. I'll be 16 come Sunday. Come go with me, my pretty little miss. Come go with me, my honey. I'll take you where the grass grows green. You never will want for money. You never will want for money. Well, she pulled off them high-heel boots all made of the finest leather. Got behind him on his horse and they rode off together. They both rode off together. That night the gentleman came home inquiring about his lady. The servant spoke before she thought she's been with Blackjack Davy. Rode off with Blackjack Davy. So saddle for me my coal black stud, he's speedier than the gray. I rode all day and I'll ride all night, and I'll overtake my lady, and I'll bring back my lady. Well, they rode all night to the broad daylight, till they came to a river raging, and there he spied his darling bride in the arms of Blackjack Davy, wrapped up in Blackjack Davy. Would you forsake your house and home? Would you forsake your baby? Would you forsake your husband too and go with Blackjack Davy? Ride off with Blackjack Davy. Pull off them long blue gloves made of the finest leather. Give to me your lily white hand and we'll go home together. We'll both go home together. Well, she pulled off them long blue gloves made of the finest leather. Gave to him her lily white hand. She bid farewell forever. She bid farewell forever. Last night I slept in a feather bed between my husband and baby. Tonight I lay on the riverbanks in the arms of Blackjack Davy. I love the Blackjack Davy.
Mr. Midshipman on all 42 verses in a row.
All right, well, we'd like to do a song for you. We've got a couple more we're going to do. This next one here comes from a wonderful songwriter, a man by the name of David Francie, who comes to us from, well, what do you say, Canada by way of Scotland? Scotland by way of Canada. Thank you. I knew I'd get there eventually. And it's from his album, his very first album, I believe, called Door and Screen Door, and it's a song called Saints and Sinners.
I hope you have more to say than that, Hans.
He's got more strings, lots than that.
I almost asked if I could just borrow your guitar, Colleen. But that's all right. I'm already there.
Do you have any of your CDs with you tonight, Hans?
Yes.
Oh,
Some in
wow.
my bag.
Do I?
Yes.
So when you fall in love with this song, like I did when I heard him sing this, you can buy a CD and bring it home with you tonight. It's lovely.
But you can't fall in love with Hans and bring him home. You can fall in love with him, you just can't bring him home.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate that. It's nice to have a band with boundaries.
It was Sunday morning in our town. I sat on the steps and I stared at the ground. I bowed my head while they shuffled past, all the saints being called to the morning mass, and off in the distance there rang a bell. Way off in the distance there rang a bell. And it rang for the saints and the sinners as well. Way off in the distance, there rang a bell. I remember the lessons of Sunday school, and I can't help but think maybe I'm a fool. For I see no sign of a greater plan, just the joy and the sorrow of my fellow man. And off in the distance there rang a bell. Way off in the distance there rang a bell. And it rang for the saints and the sinners as well. Way off in the distance there rang a bell. Here we stand while life rushes past, between the first breath and the last. And here we stand between east and west, And here we stand between birth and death. I was watching the news the other night. And there was war on the left and there was war on the right. And it's no surprise that it's us or them. It's a long way from heaven to Bethlehem, and off in the distance there rang a bell. Way off in the distance there rang a bell. And it rang for the saints and the sinners as well. Way off in the distance there rang a bell.
All right. If you fall in love with him, times are wacky. Well, thank you so much for having us here tonight on this rainy Thursday in February. It really means a lot to us to be able to play music again, but also to be able to play music in front of a live audience. So thank you for being alive and in the audience. Thank you, Dana, for opening up your beautiful space here at the Meetinghouse Arts. I look forward to seeing all of the wonderful programming and community opportunity here in this amazing space. And thank you so much to John and the whole crew at Til We Meet Again. We're so very grateful to be included in your this amazing concept of these concerts. So thanks for letting us be here tonight. Once again, down there, your right, my left, Mr. Matt Shipman on the tuning. We played some stuff too. The one and only Eric Brown. Yep. Mr. Hans Araki. My name is Colleen Rainey, and we are collectively Josephine County. We're playing again in March. We are playing 2 shows in March, which is more than we are playing in February.
That's true.
We are playing the 11th at One Longfellow in Portland. If you'd like to join us there, we'd love to see you. And we're also playing out at Stone Mountain Art Center on actual St. Patrick's Day, so March 17th. If you'd like to come out, they do these amazing 5-course dinners with a concert, and it's incredible. And
Don't mention it. I'm already hungry enough.
it's going to be a good time. You can see all of this, like Erica was saying, at josephinecountyband.com. We like to keep that as updated as possible. And you can follow us on the socials, although we're not particularly active on said socials.
We do the best we can.
Yeah, there's a lot to manage between the cats and the
Chickens.
shoveling. So we're gonna finish up with some tunes, some reels, right? So I would say dance, but don't. We're in a pandemic.
Just tap your feet.
Thanks so much, you guys. Appreciate you coming out. Thank you.